Welcome back, guys. So now let's integrate all our three services with the database. So we will use PostgreSQL, and in Node.js we have the ORM called Prisma. So let's install all the required packages for the Prisma. So I'm going to install npm install Prisma save dev, and one another package we need in order to interact with the database objects. Prisma client, and now let's clear it. Let's install that package again. npm install Prisma client. Yeah, so this been installed correctly. So now let's initialize the Prisma, and for that I need the command npx prisma init. So once I run this command, so you can see here that two files has been created. One is the environment file with the sample connection string, and other in the Prisma folder schema.prisma, where we have the uh, Prisma client and the database URL which is attached to our environment file. So now I will put here some of the order models and order objects. So first is the order, and then second is the order item, and third is the order status, and fourth is the product. So now models has been created, and now I will sync these models in the database. So the command to sync this model in a database is npx prisma migrate dev, name is order svc init. So it is executing. So after this command has been executed, you can see here that migration folder is created, and that migration folder contains the SQL script. So once I go to the database site, I refresh my schema. So you can see here that all the relevant tables has been created. So now let's write the logic to fill these tables in our order service. So in order service, I will make few adjustments in the code, and I would like to keep the example as simple as I can. So let's make few adjustments here. First, let's create the constructor, and in the constructor, let's create the app variable with the express.js, and let's import the express. Import express from here express, right? So let's complete the constructor here, and here we need few more variables. One is the express, I think we don't need this one, and other is request, and other is response. So what I will do, we will get rid of this endpoint from here, and we will create the new one in the service class, and we will call that endpoint from the postman. So let's create a method, private what private init route, and over there this dot post, this dot app dot post, and call the name of the endpoint, create order, and there this dot order dot bind, and provide the name of the instance here. So over there in my create order, I will remove this one, and we will take it from the request object. So let's write here rec request and this response. So after taking the variables in the request object, we will write the response in the same method. So let's destructure some of the parameters here is equal to request.body, and in the parameters we will accept the order object, and then we will accept the products object, which will be an array. So we will change this one afterward. So let's initialize the Prisma object here, import Prisma init, Prisma. Okay, so now we have imported it, and let's instantiate the Prisma object. So private Prisma and Prisma client, and in the constructor let's instantiate this dot Prisma is equal to new Prisma client, and then call the method init route in our constructor as well. So over there at the bottom we need to change the subject according to how our database design is. So I'm going to pass the customer name and then email address. Let's pass the email address here, customer email, and then we need the total amount, and then we need order items. Let's pass the status first. So we will pass the status in pending for in first phase, and for the order items, because we are receiving the order items in shape of array. So what we will do, we will write here the order items. So after ordered items has been defined, so let me copy and paste the code so that we could move further quickly. And let's add the bracket here. So here we are receiving order items, and we are expecting the array of the items. And one more modification I have done in the code, we remove the product from here because we need that in our inventory service. So for this order service, we need three database objects. One is the order, other is the order item, and third is the order status. So let me go back to this code again and let's change this order dot id, and in the JSON we are going to pass the full order, and let's change this to string. Okay, so there are few more modifications we need to do in our app settings. So let's see what the error we are getting. Okay, so let's get rid of this and let's write here the export class. Okay, so now we have exported it, and in our app.ts what we will do, we will remove this endpoint because we already have instantiated in our order service class a new endpoint, that is the create order. Yeah, this one. So over there, let's create a new variable called order service is equal to new order service, and let's pass the app, and let's get rid of this. Okay, so now we are ready, so let's run the code. But before we run the code, let's put the breakpoint in the order service, and now run the code here. So debugger is attached. Okay, so I have created a payload in the order service, so let's change the values here. Okay, so total order amount is 150. So this is very simple payload. So now let's issue the call. Okay, so we are receiving the two errors here. One is the product ID is missing, and let's see what the other error is. But let's add the product ID here. Product ID, and one more additional check we need to make. So that is if array is array order items or order items dot length is equal to 0, it means that we are not receiving any product here. Then return response dot status 400 dot json and put the error no items added in order. Okay, this is very simple check we have applied here, so that we should not be able to create any order without item. So in order to get rid of this error, let's okay, so what we will do here, uh, we need to write some additional casting here. Request response. I need to convert into the promise and put the void. Okay, so now let's hit that breakpoint one more time. Okay, so I think, yeah, this is the error. Okay, okay, so now service is up and running again. So now execute this again, and let's put the breakpoint here as well. So here we go. We are able to create the order and the item. So let's go to the database, and in our order table, let's refresh. So you can see here that the order entry is added with the empty status, and order item has been added with true inventory information. So we will pass this information in inventory model, and inventory will reserve the items against this order. So in our next video, let's execute the inventory and see how it is behaving with the database.